Throughout the book Invisible Man, written by Ralph Ellison, there is a very important motif at play. That is the motif of colors. There are 5 main colors used throughout the entire book. That is the colors of blue, red, green, gold, and I added a 5th one, white. The color blue was a really important color throughout the book. In the book, blue signifies reality. One of the events in this book that has the color blue in it is when I Am is taking Mr. Norton around in the car. I Am notices how pale blue Mr. Norton's eyes are. They're always blue. This is a really big symbol of the book. Since blue shows reality, Mr. Norton is a very down-to-earth, realistic guy. On page 45, it says, "His voice ceased, and I saw the strands of pale blue smoke drifting across the mirror and heard the electric lighter snap back on its cable into place behind the back of the seat." The reason why he uses pale blue smoke, it's like the smoke of reality. It's a very serious conversation they're having. So it's just a very serious, very realistic conversation that they're having, and that's why he says pale blue smoke. Another example from the book is on page 19. The hair was yellow, like that of a circus Cupid doll, the face heavily powdered and rough, as though it was from an abstract mask, the eyes hollow and smeared a cold blue. This is a very important quote because the naked dancer's eyes were a cold blue. The blue eyes symbolize that the truth behind her eyes. She has an American flag tattooed on her stomach. It's showing the truth of America, is this lifestyle. The color green is a very big symbol in the book. The color green is a symbol of illusion. This is made prevalent at the college. When I Am is at college, the book describes the college. It's described in a sort of Garden of Eden almost. Everything is vivid green, very bright, vivid green, hard to miss, and it keeps describing all the luscious greenery around campus. And when I Am is driving Mr. Norton around, Mr. Norton says, "Let's go off campus." So when they leave, there's a very definite distinction between campus greenery and non-campus greenery. Like right when they leave the bubble of the garden. Gold is an important symbol of the book because it signifies false reality. There's a very good example on page 73 where it's talking about the golden day. Towards the bottom part of the page, it says the school had tried to make the golden day respectable, but the local white folks had a hand in it somehow, and they got nowhere. So here it's saying they got nowhere. Even though the white folks had a hand in it, it still got nowhere, which is showing how gold and them getting nowhere is like a false hope. It seems good, but it just doesn't happen. Red is a very important symbol of the book. Red symbolizes the very violent tendencies and the sexual tendencies, and there's kind of like a mix between them. And a really good point of the book where this happens is on page 416. At the bottom it says, "I was heading for the door, torn between anger and a fierce excitement." There's the two right there, anger and fierce excitement. Hearing the phone click down as I started past, and feeling her swirl against me, and I was lost. For the conflict between ideological and the biological, duty and the desire, had become too subtle, confused. So he's torn between anger and really fierce excitement, and this point of the book sums that up very well. The color white is a very important symbol. It signifies control. There's a great example in the book in the very first chapter. On page 21, at the semi-top, it says, "All 10 of us climbed under the ropes and allowed ourselves to be blindfolded with broad bands of white cloth." So not only did they conform to it, they went along with it anyway, but they were blindfolded with broad bands of white cloth. So they're blinded, and they don't know what's going on. So the color white takes away their vision. It's very important to someone. And it's a sort of control, like they are now being controlled by the cloth because they can't see. And it even goes further on to say, farther down the page says, "But now I felt a sudden fit of blind terror." He's not used to seeing in the dark. He's not used to the dark. and it says, "It was as though I had suddenly found myself in a dark room filled with poisonous cottonmouths." So, it's not good. A white cloth has a lot of control over him. On page 416, Ralph Ellison says, "I saw only her mysteriously smiling eyes above the rich red robe. I was heading for the door, torn between anger and fierce excitement, hearing the phone click down as I started past and feeling her swirl against me, and I was lost." This helps develop the motif because my motif is colors. Color of red, in this case, the rich red robe, simplifies the anger and the fierce excitement. And in this section, there's both going on. Now, it doesn't always have to be both. It could be one or the other, but in this case, there was both. Now, this helps develop the overarching theme because the overarching theme states that in the process of resisting identities other imposes on you, that's when you realize your identity. Here, he is resisting her and the identity she imposed upon him because at first he's like, "I don't want to do this." And he just kept resisting until finally he just gave in to it. The book Invisible Man, written by Ralph Ellison, was one of the best books I've ever read. Can't wait to read more like it. Thank you.